You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
Feeling fresh as hell.
Well, you guys better enjoy it. The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Do this is together.
Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Hey, welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wolldog, sitting with my buddies, Kev, Hug, and Duggan.
You woke me up with that one. That was a good one. Hey there.
Hey, and let's
Hi.
not forget Kai. Let's not forget Kyle, the coach.
The
Duggan.
K.
I'm here. Happy Father's Day, guys.
Happy
We
Father's
survived.
Day. Yes. We are at this after Father's Day, so we want to make sure we wish all the fathers out there happy Father's Day. And we've got a great episode lined up for you guys. As always, we've got a Bolt Insight, a fan focus, and a kick-ass Ask Boltfam. But let's start it off by, again, jumping on the fathers, wishing happy Father's Day to people. Axel's 24 on Twitter. Wife and kids hooked him up with a sick case for his Herbert helmet. You can't go wrong with this Johnny Karate Kid pop. Ain't that something?
I saw this and I was like, I slowly turned to my wife and I said, you need to step it the fuck up, lady.
Wow,
Because
dude.
Look at what they got. I didn't get, I got love. I'm just saying, she knows besides my family, my second greatest love is the Chargers. I wouldn't hate, like, I don't have the helmet. I'll take a case. I'll take a Funko Pop.
Just a preemptive case.
Yeah, just maybe that might be coming
One
in
of
like
these
a
days.
next
I will
Father's
fill
Day.
that
It's just
case.
an empty case, and then they get me the helmet. I just saw this, and I'm joking. I love my wife. And
Yeah.
I don't mean that. But what I'm saying is, this guy's a lucky dude. Lucky dude.
Yeah, hooked up.
Yeah. Everybody that's got Justin Herbert signed anything is
Yeah, it's
pretty freaking lucky, in my opinion.
Rad.
And then the new fathers out there, we got tweeted out by Tyler Foffey, who welcomed Miss Miller Jean into the family and posted pictures. She's absolutely precious. The Chargers have another good one up and coming. And I believe she had a message for the Raiders, and in her adorable pictures, she's giving a little
throwing the bird.
throwing the bird.
Congrats,
for the
Foster.
Raiders. Absolutely.
Happy
yeah,
for you, man.
congrats,
That's
man. That's
fantastic.
awesome.
And then Vic Bolt J, Vic1187, best moment of my life. Welcome our new fam member, Ian Baby Bolt. I hope his name is Ian Baby Bolt. That would be
dope.
I need that on a birth certificate. Yeah, absolutely cute little baby. Not throwing the bird. But when
No, he's comfortable with the team
He's just
this year. He came out
he's
feeling
peacefully-
peaceful. Yeah.
Yeah, he's peacefully dreaming of Chargers Super Bowl victory.
he's not stressed about it. He's
No,
comfortable
no,
with
no.
where we have the roster.
Yeah.
He's not like, oh boy, we've got some holes and need plugging. He's just very
No,
comfortably sleeping.
He was born into a good world where the Chargers roster looks beautiful.
The roster's dope. Yeah. Is it-
Khalil
I-
Mack.
I love seeing all the babies. It's crazy. There was like a whole bunch born on Father's Day because I have one of my sons his birthday's on Father's Day. So
Oh,
it's
that's
like
right. Yeah.
a special connection with the babies born on Father's Day.
There you go.
Until they piss all over you, and then it's it's that comes with the territory.
Yeah, I'd imagine. I don't deal with that, but
You know, cat piss flying.
no cat piss flying. They know where to put it.
They're not animals. And I wanted to ask, did you guys hear about the little, was it Minka Himes who posted about, Ndamukong Suh like throwing, did you see that today?
Mina Kimes. Yeah.
Sorry, what did I say? Minka
Yeah.
Kimes.
I
Mina
was
Kimes.
like, Minka Fitzpatrick? Like,
Maybe.
what are
maybe.
we talking about?
And
Mina
I lost
Kimes,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty nuts. Like the idea of Ndamukong Suh. I don't know if I like it.
I mean, from a character standpoint, I don't see him getting in the door personally. I think obviously as a player, the guy's a beast. The guy can really obviously change a defense just by being that kind of a presence. But knowing his history, I mean, yeah, maybe he's grown and maybe he's better. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that we got the money for a Ndamukong Suh, honestly.
Well, the Ndamukong Suh, what we've done this whole offseason is bring in guys that have played in the scheme. And I don't believe he's played in the scheme. So I think, one, the money. Two, I think, like you said, doesn't really seem like a Charger player. But I also heard rumblings of Mekhi Becton, like a trade to go try to get him. Now that's just all speculative, and I think that the Chargers are just associated with all right tackles right now. Because it's just a glaring hole on our roster.
Sure.
But yeah, the talks have started back up. I feel like there was a couple weeks there after the draft, and then right at the beginning of free agency, we were connected to everyone in the NFL, and it's starting to ramp back up again.
Yeah. It's that crazy time where there's not a lot of news going on. So, all the kind of OTAs have kind of settled down. Everyone's taking their last little breath before they report. And
Gotta stir the pot.
Gotta stir it up. Mekhi Becton, I do remember him. We made a meme like our first year on Twitter of Mekhi Becton getting absolutely destroyed by Denzel Perryman. And that's the first thing that comes to mind when I hear his name.
I remember.
Do you remember that?
Pretty
Just puts him on his back.
Yeah.
That was funny. Good times.
Yeah, it's the time of year where people go, well, what if we did this and what if we did that? And the ones that make the most sense start to kind of like rise to the top, like as far as like, maybe that could happen, maybe that could work. And now, and then you see it tomorrow on ESPN about like, what if Mekhi Becton to the Chargers? ? We're going to talk about it for half an hour.
I know. Be careful with this little window of time with these rumors and the shit. They literally ESPN, NFL Network, and all these people just need stuff to talk about. So the stuff coming out in the next few weeks is probably not that legitimate.
Right. I mean, obviously, for Ndamukong Suh, the question was posed to him, and he said, "Well, that could be a possibility." But I think looking at it from the other end, as we've already mentioned, it's like I just don't know that that's a right fit. But well, if you want a right fit for you, folks, you can go to,
that was one of the better ones.
That was one of the best. Yeah, that was
great. To chargerchat.com. I feel bad for all the people who are like listening to this for the first time, where I don't even get it out, and you guys would both go, "Oh!" Like, they're like, why are they doing that? I don't know why.
I'm gonna start giving you scores. That was a solid 9 out of 10 with that transition.
Okay,
I'll give it 9. I'll give that a 9. That was segue-tastic.
Well, as I mentioned, folks, if you want the right fit, go on over to chargerchat.com because we've got shirts, hoodies, and stickers that will fit all of your needs. And you can also check out the members section where you can chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers and ask questions for the Ask Boltfam segment. So go check it out, chargerchat.com. All right, gang. Well, now it is time to go on to Bolt Insight. Who's it gonna be?
A dad, maybe? Seems fitting for this
appropriate
episode.
For Father's Day, yes.
That's fitting.
Let's see what dad is behind door number 1.
As soon as that clock starts, your ass is mine.
When I met Justin Herbert, man, that dude is big as hell.
The goal is to just keep it rolling.
Come in hype because we have a lot of things to be excited about.
All right, guys, we're back with another Bolt Insight, and we are super pumped to have Bolt Dad. What is up, Bolt Dad?
Hello. Hey. I'm doing really well. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, dude, we're pumped. And I mentioned it before we got started. Like, we love this Charger community and like all the new podcasts and all the new material. And it gives, people an opportunity to become Charger fans. So we're just excited to have you on and kind of, get everybody's eyes on you a little bit, and maybe they'll go check out your stuff. So definitely go check out Bolt Dad. He's amazing. But before we get into much more of that, we want to find out, how did you become a Charger fan?
Sure. So it really started. I went to a lot of games back when it was Jack Murphy became Qualcomm. So I grew up in San Diego, was always a big fan. Obviously, Damon Thomason was like, LT was like a big drawer of attention and got me hooked. But I didn't really love the Chargers until Phillip Rivers came along.
Yeah.
He came along kind of like shortly after, kind of around the time I was graduating from high school. And I don't know, something about him, his his demeanor on the field was always beloved by Charger fans, maybe not the rest of the NFL. But I started watching his pressers like after the games. And it's like I would notice what the media was saying about him, especially like between him and Jay Cutler, back when that was a thing.
Yeah.
And then I'd notice like how he acted and handled himself off the field in pressers, and something about the way he handled himself, super professional. It was always faith, family, football. He was the first football player I ever heard use that term. And you could tell he took it to heart. And every season, off season, have a new kid.
I know, right? Turned him out.
I don't know, something about him in particular, and then the combination with Antonio Gates, obviously with LT. It was something unique, and in the character quality of the players off the field, not just on the field. Like it just hook, line, sinker for me. I loved it.
That's awesome. I love Phil so much because he was the ultimate shit talker, and he did it all without cussing. Like, that is so hard. That's like those comedians that do it completely clean and still kill. He would do that on the field. It was amazing.
That's such a good point, right? And it's funny because I had mentioned the Jay Cutler thing.
Yeah.
And this doesn't need to be a whole podcast about Philip Rivers, but
we can do it. I'm happy to do that, especially that rivalry.
Right. And it was really interesting because I feel like maybe it's kind of got lost in the weeds. People kind of forget about it. But, I feel like when the media narrative, I wouldn't say negative media narrative, but like the media narrative that kind of circled, Philip Rivers really kind of, I think, started around. Do you remember that one time Jay Cutler was like talking smack on the field, but we didn't see that angle cut. We only saw, and was repeated all over ESPN and NFL Network, was at Philip Rivers talking trash.
Jarring at him, yeah.
Yeah, and so that really kind of, I think, created a national narrative about Philip Rivers. And I don't know, I just totally digged it, man. You're right. The way he talks trash, and then I don't know if I as a fan really caught on that he didn't curse until later down the road. But when that became a thing, and you start listening to mic'd ups with Rivers, you're like, dude, this guy is
gosh golly
epic.
cheese.
Dag gummit.
Yeah, he was next level.
Dag nabbit.
I loved him getting under Cutler's skin too, because that guy was such a douche. He was just like, I love seeing him just like melt down because Phil was talking to him.
Well, I don't remember. Do you remember like when he was really coming out though in Denver? Like, people loved Cutler because he was the gunslinger, big arm, and like kind of basically the polar opposite of Rivers in a lot of ways. So a lot of people just like, I don't like Rivers, I like Cutler. So like it's like they early on took sides.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just made me fall in love with Rivers and the Chargers even more.
Same. Yeah, he's got a place in my heart forever. And then let's talk a little bit more about your podcast. Like, the idea to like get one rolling, your excitement being a Charger fan for so long. What was kind of the catalyst? What was the reasoning you wanted to get your own pod rolling?
Well, gosh, I appreciate you even talking about it because I just love your guys' pod so much.
Thanks, man.
But I guess listening to like you guys, listening to a few others, you guys had really cool takes, and but I felt like for me, I'd listen to podcasts like when I couldn't sleep. I was up late at night. I call myself Bolt Dad. It's literally because I got two, like a preschooler and a toddler running around.
Nice.
So at the end of the day, I come back, I'm exhausted. And so what helps me sleep is listening to podcasts. And I was like, you know what? I got some knowledge up in the noggin. I got things to say.
Yeah.
I don't know if people will listen to me, but so I said, you know what? Instead of doing podcasts, what I'll do is start doing really ridiculous, bad, poor quality skits.
I love them.
Comedy sketches.
Yeah.
So I just started doing a couple of those, and surprised. And I was like, I'll throw them up on Twitter, see what happens. I created a YouTube account and threw those up there, and they just kind of took off, for the most part. And I was like, wow, people actually like this bad quality stuff. So I'm like, I mean, I'm having fun doing it. It kind of gets that little bit of something out of me that release. And then beyond that, I was like, you know what? I feel like talking about Rivers or talking about, this or that. And, kind of give them some, hopefully different takes on a couple of things.
Yeah.
And people seem to have so far, thank everybody. They seem to be like really helpful. Early on, had really terrible mic and video and this and that. And people were like, oh, you should get this mic, you should get this camera, you should do this and this. And before you knew it, I was like, I'm going to do a better background, better setup. And
love it.
Maybe take it somewhat seriously, and it's been awesome so far.
Well, it's cool. It's because you're genuine. It works. It's fun. People, it's fun. It's fun to watch. So definitely keep it up, because we just love the idea of this like big community. Because like when we first started, there's only a couple of us, and people were not there was not a lot of Charger love going around. Like it was immediately right after the move to happen, and it was just like, shit, we're starting over. But now it feels so different, and like there's so many people want all this information and just want to hang out with Charger fans while they're making dinner or whatever. And it's cool that we have this really awesome community that's really, really helping each other and like just doing cool shit.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like it's, I think that's actually a really interesting point that you made. It's like, I kind of characterize it, it's probably a little dramatic, but I think it's a good analogy of like rising from like the Phoenix. That's the way, not just the Chargers, but almost like Charger fandom has been. There's it's such a unique situation right now where we have these awesome old school diehard Charger fans from day one that maybe they're upset, but they're coming back around. They see what's going on. They can't resist. You got the ones that have stayed true from day one. Like me, for example, I was obviously lived in San Diego, loved Chargers for a long time, and then they made the move. But here's the thing. I had actually lived in LA for like 8 years already. And so I kind of already gone through the whole San Diego hates LA thing. And, so I've seen a different perspective and even gone to some Anaheim games, gone some Dodger games back because I like baseball too. And I've kind of got over that, that kind of hate or whatever you would call it pretty early on. And now I represent Northern California. I live up in Sacramento, but I still have family down in LA and Irvine, right next to the training, all down there. So like, I don't know, when they made the move and they finally did it, I felt like by then the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
And I would also say in classic Spanos fashion, they did a terrible job delivering the news.
Yeah.
Have a horrible LA logo. I mean, it was just all done wrong.
Yeah.
And then, and then they go into a soccer stadium, which people are like questioning, scratching their head. And then, so yeah, there was this weird, a year or two, unfortunately with Gates and Rivers last couple of years, like, it was this weird, awkward time. And I think in that, when I said the analogy of rising like the Phoenix, like those are the ashes that they're rising from, right? And so the diehards, people stuck with it. Other people are starting to come back. And then lo and behold, Spanos and team and company, they hire like apparently the best social media people you can find.
It's insane. They lucked out so hard with that. That is hard to create that consistently good of content. It's so
right. Like Megan's in the forefront of that, and all of them, like they're just started crushing it, and they did it the right way in the sense that you could clearly tell they were reaching out to the community. They didn't just do important things like, oh, let's do food drives or whatever, those kind of things. Those are all very important things, but like something about just taking it to that next level and really connecting, just I don't know, gave something fans who are desperate to cling on something, they gave them that. And now it, then you start to see like, these videos of like our fans getting recognized. Like Jen is a great example, and all these are and you start seeing like real genuine connections and fan base being formed. And it's like, against all odds. And now on top of it, the product on the field is starting to mesh, starting to click.
Yeah.
And you're just like, is this really happening? Like, this is, it's rising like the Phoenix, you know?
What's happening here?
Yeah. And so now you got all these podcasts, you got all these people connecting. I'm just kind of repeating a little bit what you said, but it's like, I feel what you're saying. And I just wanted to be a part of it. You know, I'm up here, I'm kind of away. So this is my way of helping be a part of it. And it's freaking awesome what's happening right now.
I love it, man. It's a really cool club right now. It's like this, I don't know. It's just this certain energy. It's interacting with people on social media. It's like meeting people in person. It's like tailgates were always fun, but now I feel like it's just a little next level. Like the excitement, and people are like, oh, you're this on Twitter. I haven't even put the face to the name because you have some weird logo as your thing. This is awesome. You know, it's like there's this kind of crazy aspect to it. So it's exciting. It's really exciting time for us.
Yeah.
Well, let's get you out of here on this, man. Like, what are you most looking forward to this season? What is something, if you could pinpoint? I know it's a big fucking question because there's so many things to look forward to. What's the one thing that you really, really want to see this year?
I don't know, you can't not help be like excited about how many sacks Mac and Bosa are gonna combine on. Like, you just know with Bosa, he's been double, triple teamed his entire career. I mean, when Melvin was here, it helped, you know, but Melvin still couldn't quite get to the quarterback as much as he had hoped.
Yeah.
But you know, Mac brings that new dimension, right? And I know it's been talked about so much, but how could you just not be so excited about that? Because we all know that when you can create consistent pressure on both sides, you know, that opens up the chance for the backfield to get picks. Well, wait a second. Now we got Mr. INT back there.
Sure.
So, you know, it's like all of a sudden you got, you know, and to add to that, Derwin James, like, what's he going to be able to do now?
Yeah.
Because Staley had been talking about for so long, like, oh, this is what we're going to do with you, you know, and even like you could see them having those, you know, conversations about it the day that he signed. Like, it was like the video of the first 24 hours. You know, you can tell them talking like, oh my God, Derwin James is going to be able to light up the world, you know, it's on fire. And it didn't really happen as much as you would like, because you know, he was going 1,000 different directions.
He was covering a lot of positions. He was doing a lot of help.
Like 8+ jobs or something on the backfield.
Yeah.
And now he's going to actually be able to trust the people around him. Like, you know, he's going to be able to do that. And then you start listening to these pressers, and almost usually athletes, like, they'll say a couple fluff things here or there. But when you start hearing like Joey Bosa, who doesn't really fluff.
No, he doesn't pull punches at all.
Yeah, Keenan Allen doesn't really do that either, right? And these are key pieces to our offense and defense. And they're the ones that have been here before, and they've never fluffed before. And they're like, yeah, something's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we feel it.
Yeah. If anybody's going to know, it's going to be them. They've been in the locker rooms all these years. They know what's different. It feels different to us, but they know 100% better than we do.
Yeah. So now I'm just like, and then there's just so much to be excited about. Gosh, it's like, another thing too is, I think that can get lost in the weeds too, is we had, you know, knock on wood here, you know, for the future, but we did have a relatively healthy season other than like the COVID game.
Yeah.
We had a very healthy season last year. And I think the reason why is because Staley's strength and conditioning, what he called, you know, I think he termed it something like, this is going to be a winning edge for us, was like that, the extra yoga type stretching and stuff that you that's it. Yes. Thank you. I was searching for that. That activation is that winning edge. And I think that's legit. And so when you have Bosa electing to say, okay, I'm going to leave my usual training during OTAs. I'm actually going to come to voluntary OTAs and come out and do this. To me, what that says is, yeah, I want to get to know Khalil Mack. I want to get to know players. Yeah, I'm motivated. But beyond that, I think he's also actions speak louder than words. I think he's saying, I actually trust their strength and conditioning team to get me healthy and ready to play.
I like that take.
Right. And so that's like, it's just one other added layer of like, we're slowly chipping away at the stigma of, we're gonna charge it up by getting unhealthy or this or that. Again, knock on wood here.
Yeah.
I need to get like an actual piece of, like, I have a wood thing. I need
It's like
I
knock behind you.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so you asked me what I'm excited about. It's almost impossible to narrow it down. So that's, those are in general the things I'm just super excited about. And of course, we all know and love Justin, and in second year in a consistent offensive scheme, Joe Lombardi, and like, what's he actually going to be able to do that for the first time ever?
Yeah.
Having, that's, I'm jazzed.
Sky's the limit, man.
Yeah,
100%. So, all right, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was awesome, like getting to meet you and learning a little bit more about you. And can you just tell everybody where they can check out your stuff?
Yeah, sure. Again, thank you. So I'm at Bolt Dad podcast. I'm at Bolt Dad podcast for Twitter. It's the same thing if you're going to find me on YouTube. Bolt Dad. I kind of go by the Bolt Dad Show on YouTube. And again, I just do bunch of silly sketches, stuff like that. But I also now have that podcast. And we do a few random deep dives, a couple hype videos, nothing like director quality, but I try my best.
It's Bolt Dad quality. It's awesome. We love it, dude. You're killing it. And if you need a funny voice for one of your skits, got to hit up Wool Dog. He will bring the fire. So let us know if you need Wool Dog for a skit. I'm sure he would love to do it.
Oh man. Yeah. If he's willing to do it, I'll 100% had him on board. I had I don't know if you saw
Senior Snappy. Yeah, I saw that. That was awesome.
He rocked it, man. I wasn't sure. Like, I told him, I was like, you know what? Not everybody's gonna get this sketch. It's pretty unique, but we're just gonna, we're not going for quality here. We're just having fun. We'll see what happens. And sure enough, man, I got some hating on that one. People didn't understand the sketch, and I had some people who loved it. So all fun,
Keep doing it, man. Be you. Keep putting out that awesome content, man. So hey, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for taking the time to come chat with us.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Well, you know what, Bolt Dan? If you have fun, we have fun. So It doesn't matter, dude. Like that is the one thing that will always translate. If you are having fun doing something, there's always going to be haters, but there's going to be people that fun is going to translate, and it's awesome, dude. I think you're doing a great thing over there, and just have fun, man. That's what this should be. Like, this shouldn't be a salty experience of like, I guess I'm a Charger fan now, so I've got to give out a salty podcast. It's like, no, man, it could be fun. Like, just have a blast and keep it shamelessly positive. That's right, baby. And,
that's right, baby. Yeah, baby. Come on, baby. Honey, baby. Catch them. But they got to get you on there, Wool Dog. I'd love to see you bring back your old acting chops.
I would love to. Absolutely. I mean, obviously, I'm not in the vicinity to provide any like live action, but if we've got some puppetry that needs happening, I can absolutely throw my voice.
Idea. This is a new idea.
Oh, shit.
One of our Ask Boltfams, we turned into a puppet show skit.
Oh, God.
I think this is something worth doing. Or like the best of the month, we turn into a puppet. We turn it into like a skit. If you like the idea, let us know in the comments.
Maybe Senor Snappy's novel that he's writing can be turned into some kind of a puppet.
What if we produce and shoot that? I'm a director of photography. Let's do this. This is a great idea, actually. All right, we're on to something.
Mexico run.
We're on to something.
Yeah, we definitely love to come up with ideas. Whether or not we'll follow through remains to be seen. But Bolt Dad, thank you for coming on and chat with Kev. Again, we love seeing the content of people having fun. That's what it should be about. So thank you for keeping it fun.
Make our community stronger.
That's right, baby.
That's right, baby. Gotta catch it, baby.
That's right, baby.
It's the honey, baby.
Yeah, honey.
All right. Well, now it's time to go on to the next segment. It is Fan Focus. And yeah, let's do it.
Danny. Yeah. All right, guys, we're back with another Fan Focus, and we have Danny from San Marcos. What's up, Danny?
Yo, what's up, Kevin? How's it going?
Good, brother. Good. I'm excited to meet you and learn a little bit more about you. So let's kick off how we do all the other ones, man. How did you become a Charger fan?
Dude, okay. So, I mean, growing up, I didn't really watch any sports. It was just skateboarding. I would be skating all the time. And I don't know, like, I'd occasionally catch a game or two. My friends would be into it. I'm guilty of being one of those guys that, like, when they're doing good, I'd watch it. When they weren't doing good, I'd just be doing something else.
Totally.
And obviously, I kind of knew the rivalry about the Chargers and the Raiders. I was at my break room, and like this girl, she's like, "Yeah, the Raiders are gonna win the Super Bowl this year, this and that." And obviously, she's riled up, so I wanted to like be like, "Nah, Chargers."
Yeah,
for
poke
sure.
the bear a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And so like, she left, and then this other guy, one of my buddies, he's like, "Hey man, are you a Chargers fan?" I was like, I mean, I watch them a little bit. I was just trying to get under skin. And he's like, "Oh no, that's cool. Like, yeah, I'm a Chargers fan." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool, man." And like, I don't want to lie to him because I don't want to be like he drops names on me and then I don't know who they are.
Sure.
I mean, I'm familiar with Philip Rivers and like everybody, like the popular ones.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm a Chargers fan. And he's like, "Is your birthday coming up?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's coming up. It's like next week." He's like, "Oh, cool." And then he drops it at that. That was super weird. And dude, the following week he shows up to work like in a Chargers hat. And he's like, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?" I'm like, "Doing good. How are you?" And then he's like, "I got you something." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "I got you something." And then he shows up with his box. And I'm like, "Dude, what the heck?"
What is going on?
Yeah, I'm like, "What the heck?"
What's in the box?
Dude, it's open. Dude, it was a nice box. It was like,
Nice.
either he decorated and put a lot of time into it,
Oh,
or
shit.
somebody else did.
So
And
cool.
I'm like, "Okay, what's going on?" And like, I'm like, "I don't know. I can't take this, dude. I don't, you weren't supposed to, you didn't have to get me anything." And he's like, no, I got you something. I was like, "Okay, cool. Sounds good." I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like looking at it and like, I'm taking it apart and I'm like, "Dude, what the heck?" And I like open it, dude. It's an LT, like dark blue LT stitched jersey. And I'm like, "What the heck?" I like said it out loud. I was like, "What the heck is this?"
Oh my
Like,
God.
I couldn't hold it back. I was like, "What the heck?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got it for you." And I'm like lifting it up and it looks expensive. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And he's like, "Is it your size?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "Dude, I can't take this.
Yeah.
This is expensive." And like, he's like, no, I got it for you. Like, when you watch Chargers games, you can wear it. And I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Holy shit.
All right. And I'm like putting this away, right? I'm like, "Thanks, man." And I'm putting it away. And he's like, "Oh yeah, we're going to a Chargers game on Sunday." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" Like, I might have plans on Sunday. What if I had plans? He's like, "No. Wait, do you have plans?" And I was like, "No, but, but okay, I'll go." Yeah, super weird. And I was like, "All right." He's like, "You can wear your jersey." I was like, "Okay."
Who is this Charger Angel? This guy
right?
sounds amazing.
I don't know. I guess I was the only person that I worked with that has a Charger like fan, and he like kind of pushing me in the right direction. But he's like telling me like, "Yo, I'm gonna pick you up. We're gonna go tailgate," and we go. He picks me up super early. We start tailgating. That was my first time tailgating, like being at Qualcomm too. And like we got there early. We started drinking way too early. We started walking in there, and everybody's super nice.
Yeah.
That was the first time like somebody walked by and they're like, "Nice jersey, man." And I was like, "Thanks." And they said "Bolt up," and I said "Bolt up" back. That was the first time I ever said it. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
And we went in the stadium, and it was crazy, dude. Like we're walking in, and I'm like, "Okay, we're walking in." He starts going in the direction that I'm like, "Where are you going?" He starts moving, and I'm like, "Dude, nosebleeds are this way." And he just like keeps going. He's like, "Follow me," and I'm like, "What the freak are you doing?" And I'm a little like, I'm just following him. And then turns out we're like 3 or maybe 4 or 5 rows away from the field. I'm like,
whoa,
"What are you doing, dude? I can't, like, what are you, I'm not gonna, this is crazy." And he's like, no, I want to give you like the full Charger experience, like I want you to be like, know what it's like to be a Charger fan. Dude, it was crazy. Like I got to do the charge. I got the picture with Boltman.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah, it was crazy. And they won that game too.
Oh my
and it was ridiculous because like it almost felt like it baptized my like fandom and the jersey. And I was like, ever since then, I was just like, we're going Chargers. Like, and I found some friends along the way. like John Davis and like David and like Bern. Oh, my friend Bern, he moved to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
He did a thing where he's a Broncos fan now.
Oh, son of a!
I know. It's okay. We forgive him. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Dude, that is one of the most unique origin stories I've ever heard. Like, that is cool. That's like movie worthy stuff. Those would be some good scenes.
Dude, probably. No, but it was crazy, dude. I couldn't believe it.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
What a cool.
He's a good guy.
That's so awesome. So, so it sounds like you've been, you were at Qualcomm, you've been a fan for a while. So what's it kind of been for you, them being the San Diego Chargers, becoming the LA Chargers, and kind of like the roller coaster that's been the last few years and where we are now? What are your kind of thoughts on that, progression?
Well, honestly, like I was still a fan. I'm like, dude, seriously, like it's still the same team. Philip, dude, I love that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I remembered? When you talked about it when Philip Rivers did his first down. Remember when he like looked back and forth and he's like, dude, that was the best.
Give me chills. I got goosebumps from that. It was ridiculous.
But that, like, I having those like things and like knowing that he took a limo and stayed in San Diego and like would commute. Yeah. Like he loved San Diego. He didn't want to leave. And like we still had like all the right players and stuff. Honestly, living here was kind of crazy because there's so many people that are like, "Oh, you're a fan of the Traders," and I'm like, "Oh God!" Like I'm like, dude, come on! It's like if my uncle moved out of state, I'm not. He's not
still my uncle.
The guy. Yeah,
exactly. Such a great way to put it. That is beautiful.
So like Uncle Phil,
I love it. No, it's been a roller coaster. It was never a question in my mind. I was going to be a Charger fan until the day I died. So it's kind of hard, and it's good to see fans coming back. Like we're meeting. We had a couple on the podcast. Like they're coming back. It's fun to be a Charger fan right now. So it's exciting,
dude. It's the Herbie effect. That Herbie effect's in play, and then everything that's happening right now.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Super
excited.
This is going to be such a fun season. I want a DeLorean to jump ahead a few months and just get started. I can leave these couple months behind.
This is dark times right now. So
dark times. Well, you're making it brighter. Thank you for coming on the show.
Dude, for sure.
Let's get you out of here on this, my friend. Like, what are you most looking forward to this season? What's one thing that you're like, that's it. I really want to see that. I want to go to that game. I want to see that player do this. Like, what are you most excited for?
Oh, dude, I'm going to be at the Raiders game with you.
Let's go. You going to the home opener?
I'm going to be there.
Let's go.
For sure. Yeah.
Done deal.
So I'm going to be there. I'm going to meet you guys. I'm a shotgun a beer with Wooly, Coach, you.
Let's go.
We'll send it. And then I'm for sure going to that game. I already asked for the days off. It's happening. And honestly, freak, dude. I can't believe it. I'm already bold prediction. JC Jackson, 2 pick sixes. It's going to happen.
I like that.
Yeah, dude. I want it so bad. And I can't wait. Khalil Mack and Bosa are going to eat Carr alive.
Yeah.
Dude, it's going to be crazy.
What a great way to start against the Raiders and Mac going after Mac.
Just after that, there's just going to be munch.
Mascara boy. He's in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's awesome. We definitely got to meet it up, man. That's going to be super fun.
Yeah, dude. And SoFi's crazy. Dude, I've gone crazy. I was at that game with the Giants.
Yeah. You saw the throw.
Dude, so this is what happened. We're Herbert's making a drive down the field and he's going, and one of my friends, John, he's like, dude, I'm so happy we have Herbert. He's the best. Yeah. And then the next play, the dude, he's rolling to the side and he's about to get tackled. Throws it, hucks it, and everybody's holding their breath.
Yeah.
What at that point, I didn't even see guy in. I was what the heck? And then comes down with it
right in the basket.
Dude, bread basket.
That was
amazing.
I'm jealous you got to see that in person.
Dude, I accidentally went to 4 games last season. I was only supposed to go to 1, and I just got the itch. I was like,
oh shit! I love that, dude. I love that. That's amazing. Well, let's.
You gotta let me know when you go. I'm gonna be at the Raiders game for sure. If you go to any other ones, I'll be there.
That's the wife gave me a little pass to go to more games than last year because I don't have a baby on the way, so things are going to be easier. Okay. And then we're definitely going to be there week 1 all together as a crew. So We'll get
Dude,
there early.
right.
Come meet us in Thunder Alley, man. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm down. It'll be sick. I've been there. It's so cool.
It's so much
Dude,
fun.
everybody's so nice. Like, Charger, it's like both. It's a family, dude.
It
It's
is.
like you feel like included and
Yeah.
like everything. There's like, oh, here, like trying to give out Jello shots. Like, I was like, what the heck is going on here? It's kind of like what happened with like my introduction to the Chargers. Like,
dude. Still, I will say that is the craziest so far. The craziest story so far of becoming a Charger fan. So put a star on it. Danny has the coolest story so far. So thank you, Danny. It was a pleasure meeting you, man. And we really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, dude. For real. I watch you guys. You guys kill it, dude. Thank you so much for what you guys do. Gets me through the week and everything, dude. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure, man. Thank you so much for your support. And we will see you soon.
Yes, we will.
Let's do it.
Danny, you're telling that story, and I'm like anticipating the end to be like, and that man was LaDainian Thomas, like something like, or like Dean Spanos or something like that. Yeah, like some high up guy, or so it's still a mystery. We don't know who this guy is.
Just an
like
angel,
this.
just a Charger angel.
I'm a Charger angel. I'm intrigued by this story. It's so unique. Like, to somebody to go that far out of their way, spend that kind of money just to like, hey, I'm bringing you in the fold. You're going to be a Charger fan after this. Like, I love that idea. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Super cool.
If it was going to happen with any fandom, it would be this fandom. Like, cause it really is just kind of a crazy experience going through Thunder Alley. And yeah, just like the family aspect of it, of like, all right, we're going to, like you said, we're going to do Jello shots. Now I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, no Jello shots. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Good.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
let's have those.
the first time that we went, I had like my arm, I was like carrying like 5 beers from like people that just like kept handing me beers. I'm like, I can't
And
drink
they're like,
all
take
of
a
this.
picture, and you're like,
So yeah, dude, the love is awesome, and the angels are looking out for all of us. Danny, you especially. So thank you for coming on and chatting with Kev. That is an awesome story, and we are definitely going to be going to as many games as we possibly can, including that home opener, because that home opener is going to be. I love the prediction at the 2 pick sixes.
2 pick sixes, one game. That'd be a start to Charger career,
prediction.
huh?
Well, that would really set the tone for the rest of the season, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, gang. Well, now it's time to go on to the next segment. Ask Boltfam. Let's not pussyfoot around. Let's get into it.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys. Don't jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement.
Oh, so hungry.
Your thoughts are like totally appreciated.
Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy. All right, so we start off Ask Boltfam with Mario Vences, who asked the question.
Since y'all weren't able to give up pizza for a freaking Super Bowl, my question has got to be, what is your favorite pizza and toppings? Papa John's pepperoni and crack? No, but all jokes aside, what is your favorite memory of each other or with your dad? K, love you. Oh, yeah. And f*** the Raiders. Bye.
There's a lot of questions in here. I like this.
Well, yeah. So favorite pizza and toppings.
I have a weird poll. I lived in LA for a while. They have this place called Palermo's, and they make this thing called the Pizza Rosa, and it's like this garlic and tomato, and it's like one of the best things I've ever had pizza wise. So I'll go with that. It's a weird poll, but I think it's in where is it? It's in North Hollywood, I think. So
okay,
that's
nice. How about you there, Kyle? Favorite pizza?
I don't know. It's too hard. I like all. I'm a big margarita pizza guy. I can get down on some margarita pizza.
Nice.
But honestly, I really like barbecue chicken pizza too.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know if the purists will accept that answer, but yeah, I think those are two at the top.
Definitely.
What about you?
Yeah, Kevin said it. CPK. I love CPK. I love going to the California Pizza Kitchen.
Focaccia.
They don't have it up here. Like, they don't have California Pizza Kitchen up here. You would think that California Pizza Kitchen would go places outside of California.
It's
not
with the Idaho Pizza Kitchen. They don't do it up there.
No, they don't.
Just potato pizza.
We do have Idaho pizza, but
it's It's made from
It's just not the same. It's a lot
French
of
fries.
potatoes.
Just a lot of French fries.
CPK is definitely the best. And I'm all about the meats. Give me the meats. Give me the pep, the bacon.
Who's got the meat?
The sausage. Me,
Pep.
Bulldog. He's got the meats. All right. And then favorite memories of each other or with your dad.
That's a good one. I think this last year, me, Kev, and my dad had like a boys trip to Vegas, and we went and watched basketball. That was really, really fun. I think
That was the trip we found out about
special
Khalil
memory,
Mack, and we like lost our minds with our dad. Like that was rad.
There you go. Extra special.
Yeah, it was fun just hanging out with dad and chatting and watching basketball. It was good.
Awesome.
It's like those bonding moments you don't like when you get older, you get so separated with your families and there's so much going on to like get together without all the extra stuff around, like all our accessories. It's kind of a cool thing.
Children and wives are accessories.
Oh no, I'm in trouble.
You're
Man,
dead.
you just can't not shoot yourself right in the face.
Digging. Keep digging.
Shit. Digging.
I can't think of like a favorite memory, but I can absolutely, with clarity, remember wanting to go see Gremlins 2 at the theater. And I'd not seen Gremlins 1. I just seen like the trailer for Gremlins 2, and I was like, that looks funny. And I remember going to the theater with my dad to go see Gremlins 2, and we only got about like partway through, and I was like, Dad, I'm too scared. Like,
Get me out of
scared me
here.
so bad. Like just seeing the gremlins like creeping around and like getting like close to people, but like not touching or anything. And rewatching it, Gremlins 2 is like so not scary. Like it is like probably one of the funniest movies ever. And I was so scared, and we went to go, and he was like, all right, fine, and we'll leave. And we went to go see like the Flintstones meet the Jetsons or something like that was going at the same
Gotta
time.
cleanse the palate a little
I was
bit.
like, I got in there. I was like, this is better. This is my kind of movie, Dad. Thank you.
It's so funny you say that because my dad, I don't know if he did this for you, Kyle, but he definitely did this for me. Maybe it was like a firstborn kind of like, still working out how to really parent. Like, I'm just going to try this out.
We're going to wing it on the first one. We'll
So
know
like,
by a second.
I had a lot of dentist appointments when I was at school from like elementary through basically middle school, where my dad would like every other week come pick me up for a dentist appointment and we'd go to the movies. And then he'd drop me back off at school. And I saw some like, I think the reason why I make movies is because of my dad, because he would take me to see everything. Like nothing was off limits. It was just like, all right, close your eyes. All right, it's back on. Crazy shit's happening, explosions, nuts stuff. So I vividly remember my dad doing that for me, and I plan on keeping that tradition alive.
Nice.
Yes.
Good.
Just don't tell my wife, because she heard that story. She's like, "You're not doing that."
Yeah.
Yes,
well,
I am.
If she listened this far, I think you've got bigger things to worry about.
Yeah,
but
you got bigger fish to fry.
I got some paperwork
Kids out
coming
of
my way.
movies.
That's right. Mario, thank you for asking the question there, buddy. Let's move it on now to Tony, who asked the question.
Certified fresh.
Do you guys eat the glizzy with or without the buns? All right. So let me preface this, folks, because I had to do a Google search myself. Apparently, glizzy is a hot dog on the East Coast. That's their slang for it, but I've heard it's also a slang for a gun. So if it's slang for anything other than a hot dog, I'm 38. I can't keep up with all the slang. Like I rely on Google to tell me if something's gross or not. So
yeah, he started listening to music back, late 90s. He hasn't listened to anything since.
I swear to God, you're not far off.
You're not far off.
Oh, I love it.
All right. So glizzy with or without the buns. What are you guys bun guys or
big bun guy? Big bun guy.
Big bun guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me the buns.
Like the buns that cannot lie.
That's right.
These other brothers can't deny that I also like the buns. But I went to a German beer garden this last 4 or 5 days ago. It was really good. Nice beer. But they give you there's sausages the German way.
Sure.
There's something to be said for just some mustard, cutting into a glizzy, dipping, and then eating. You know what I mean? Cutting into a glizzy.
When it comes to his glizzy.
Yeah. Kevin goes both ways.
I really hope this means something other than hot dog.
We're walking into something terrible.
We're just so inappropriately talking about something right now. Oh, that would be really good.
I hope so. I hope I find out about it later on in the comments. But Tony, thank you for asking the question.
Maybe thank you. Maybe
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
We'll find out later. But let's move it on now to Tom Telesco's burner account, who asked the question. I honestly love you guys and the Chargers so much, man, that I rewatch episodes sometimes. You guys are so great for the Charger community, man. Like, who do you guys think will have more receiving yards at the end of the season, brothers? Palmer, Guyton, or Everett? Also, I saw Van Noy taking first team reps at inside backer, man. Oh, he wanted a fucking bong rip. God damn it.
Rip the bong with that guy. That'd be funny.
No, no, pick it up. No, do it. Yes.
He's doing it.
I was like, pray for that, man. No, it is a damn right tackle. The Raiders and Derek Carr and that screaming linebacker. Also, Craig is killing it, and I'm getting deep on Charger history, man. All right. Well, Tom Telesco's burner account. I only saw the bong rip partway through, and I was like, "Oh shit!" He probably wanted
commit to that character.
You went
Tommy Chong or something
send.
like that.
You went full send.
There was no going back. All right. Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for the kind words. That was very nice of you to say that.
Very kind of you.
And then who do we think is going to get more receiving yards, Palmer, Guyton, or Everett?
I think Everett. I think Everett's going to have a lot of yards this year.
I think he's going to have a big season. I think a lot of it, though, is going to be like clutch first downs and touchdowns. I don't know if it's going to be mass yardage. I think Palmer could go for a big season. That's a tough question, though, because Everett has guaranteed targets, I think.
Being our tight end one. Tight end one versus wide
Palmer
receiver
and Guyton
3.
are kind of fighting over that 3 spot. So you're going to lose quite a few reps. So yeah, I guess I'll go with Everett as well. But I think Palmer has potential to really take possession of that position. But we'll see.
Yeah, honestly, like it never really even occurred to me that Everett would be getting that many targets. But the more that you guys talked about it, the more highlights I saw of him and his ability to just get open. Like I could absolutely see him getting more receiving yards. I think you're going to see some really, I think it'll be clutch plays from Palmer and Guyton in the way that, like, you know, they've been throwing it to all of these guys for the better part of the game that, like, let's get one to Palmer, let's get one to Guyton because they're blocking everybody else. But I think Everett's going to be that guy, man. I think he's going to get it.
Well, and I think last year too, like, you know, Justin wanted to throw the ball to Cook. Cook just didn't want to catch the ball. That was the problem with that relationship. I don't want it. I think Everett wants it and can catch it. So I think he'll have a lot of yards and be. I'm drafting him for sure on my fantasy team this coming year. 100%. I'm gonna reach it. I'm gonna reach for him a little earlier than I probably should, but you know what? That's what makes me
probably not as
terrible
fantasy
fantasy
Adam's
owner.
Gonna reach for him.
After this conversation, I just shot myself in the
ahead
foot.
of you, but
round 2,
always one step ahead of us. With players.
Just deal with it. And yeah, good to see Van Noy getting first team reps. For the inside back position.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of noise about who was kind of starting at that mini camp when they were going 11 on 11. Because a lot of the guys that we expect to be number ones were not playing. Mike Davis wasn't playing. Jerry Tillery wasn't playing. Drew Tranquil wasn't at the ones. They had Kyle Van Noy out there. And I think that it's getting the new guys reps. I think coach knows what he has from those guys, and he's wanting to you only have a 2-day mini camp. You got to get these guys rolling, get them some reps.
Sure.
Get them start moving. So I'm not reading too far into it as far as who's not starting. I don't think Drew Tranquil's lost a spot. I think Kyle Van Noy is going to have to do a lot of things. So you need to get him as many reps as you can at every position. And I think that's what the result was, as you saw him getting reps with the ones in mini camp. But yeah, we knew that was going to happen. That's why you draft him, because he's not draft him. That's why you pick him up in free agency, because he's so versatile.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be fun to watch what they do with like you have this Derwin James Swiss Army knife DB, and then you have Kyle Van Noy, kind of the Swiss Army knife down in the trenches. So it's honestly, it's a lot for a defensive coordinator. As fans, we're like, oh great, these guys can do so many things. As a coordinator, you got to put them in the right spots. You have to make sure that they're up to it to be able to pick up all this information and go execute. Because a guy that can do 3 things at 70% is not as good as a guy that can do one thing 100%, right? So it's going to take a lot of work for Kyle to be ready to rock and roll, because he's the only guy that doesn't have significant time spent in the system as far as free agents that we picked up.
Excellent point. So there you go, Tommy T's burner account. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Wade Mix,
certified fresh,
who asked the question.
I would like to know which off-season addition will have the biggest impact in your opinion.
Yeah, I'll go first. I think Khalil Mack. I just
see.
Not only is he a pass rusher, but he's Joey Bosa as far as defending the run.
High five. There it
is.
Like.
It's a guy that could set that edge, right? So if you're confident that you have those edges set, it now makes the box a lot easier to defend for your linebackers and interior defensive linemen. Now, more specifically for your linebackers, especially with us having guys that still have a lot to prove in Kenneth Murray and Drew Tranquil, who is solid, but I think it has to take that next step as well to become the guy in the NFL level. For them, it becomes a lot easier. There's less ground to have to cover against the run. If you can set the edge, say the ball's on in the middle of the field, if you can set the edge just outside the hash, it's just a better angle for your linebackers to be able to come downhill. Now, if you set the edge, but you're out at the numbers, that's a lot of distance for a linebacker to cover and a big open gap for a running back to be able to cut up into. So setting the edge is not just, oh, I'm the last guy out here. It's no, I'm going to set the edge as close to the center as possible so that running back has tiny gaps to try to fill. And if he tries to bounce outside, I'm there because I set the edge. If he's still trying to go out there, I'm right there to make the play. So I think Khalil Mack is sneaky. It's going to be like a sneaky, wow, the run defense has gotten so much better. And Sebastian Joseph Day, Austin Johnson, those guys that we picked up are going to have a big impact. But being able to set that edge is so crucial in any defensive run game.
Well, that was quite
Coach's
the answer.
Corner. Coach's corner-esque.
No, it was very good. I mean,
we're gearing up for the season, boys.
Kyle's getting back in form. I like it. I like.
Well, I just like questions that I don't know. Sometimes it just comes. So
I think it's great because I know I'm just going to be like, I like this guy because he's good.
Football.
Football.
I mean, do you have a different opinion there, Kev?
Kind of overwhelmed. Hashes are also cool.
Numbers.
I like
gaps.
to set the edge on my family's budget. I guess I don't want them to go outside.
The numbers.
Outside the numbers. Gotta keep it inside the numbers.
There you go.
No, but I have nothing.
Yeah.
Great answer, Kyle.
Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack.
Fantastic answer.
I did high five you, so I think that was my answer, right?
Yeah.
High five.
I absolutely think Khalil Mack is honestly probably going to be that. But I think the JC Jackson signing, I think we're going to see the identity of this defense change to be the ball hawk defense, the defense that gets the interceptions, that gets those turnovers. And obviously Khalil Mack is going to be a huge contribution to that by setting that edge, like you said. And I think having a guy like Mr. Interception waiting there in the secondary is going to really show people that this is that type of a defense. I feel like all of these guys, I think we're going to have, I think we're going to have the most interceptions out of any other team. I think we're going to be those people at the top. And I think that's going to really change the identity of what the Chargers have been for the defense in previous seasons. So
exciting.
I'll say JC Jackson just to be something different, but I absolutely think Khalil Mack is probably going to be that most impactful one. So
if he can stay healthy, he's going to be a huge.
It's going to be wild.
In so many ways. He's not just going to get sacks. He's going to do the stuff Kyle's talking about, the hidden things that you're not really fully paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be huge.
Me specifically, because I don't pay attention. But Wade Mix, thank
Football.
you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Kyle T, who asked the question.
Well, it looks like we're approaching the dark times where football news and content becomes scarce. Could you gentlemen recommend any good books for Charger fans to read during these times?
Well,
I know. You got the wrong guy.
That's a Mike Maudlin question because he really has his
just general books or Charger related books. I guess just general books.
Just general books. Yeah. Like people say, have you seen any good movies? Have you read any good books?
Yeah. I'm a fan of the Bible. I read that quite a bit. I don't read books, so I got nothing, Kyle T.
I got one I did an audiobook on. I mentioned last time I've been rabbit hole.
Do you consider that reading?
Well, it's a book.
It's
I just ingesting it differently.
Well, it's a book.
I mean, he said, can you recommend any good books?
Hey, if you want to listen to it or read it with your eyes, whatever.
He didn't say if you read any good books. If he said that, then I'd be with you there, Kyle.
All right, what did you listen to?
It's called, shut up. It's called Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli.
There you go.
It's all about the making of The Godfather, and I'm still on a rabbit hole deep dive.
Boy, you are.
Yeah, you did.
I know
more about The Godfather than I think Francis will know.
I've watched a lot. I'm just like, I don't know. I have this weird personality where if I find something interesting, it's 3-4 weeks. I just try and get as much information on it as possible. So that's fun. It's not Charger related at all, but if you like how movies are made, it's really good.
Yeah, for sure. I really should read more books. I think, I read a lot more like graphic novels than I do books, which is code for comics, for those that aren't aware. But, I'm looking at my bookshelf, Mouse Tales, the behind the ears look at Disneyland. There's a few interesting books in that regard that kind of talk about some of the behind the scenes stuff that happened at Disneyland, which is fascinating to me because I love Disneyland and I love hearing the history or reading the history, I should say, about Disneyland. But it's probably not the best book to recommend, but there you go, Kyle.
As you can tell, we're not much of readers.
You're right. We're better on movie questions than we are on book
movie recommendations. So I got you, bro.
We've got those for days, but we appreciate the question anyway, Kyle. Thank you for asking it. Let's move it on now to Cerberus21, who asked the question.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. It has come to my attention that I may be a tad bit negative and inviting bad juju when I ask questions like, would you trade Herbert, or would you want a Super Bowl if it meant Herbert suffering career-ending injuries? So in honor of Father's Day and celebrating Daddy Herbert, my question will now be shamelessly positive and uplifting from now on.
Hey.
Although if you get questions that make you uncomfy from time to time, just know it's because 7 months of off-season does horrible things to a football-loving man. Anywho, if you had to leave your kids with one player on the team for 2 weeks, who would it be? Oh, and Wolldog, who would you pick as your cat sitter? I'd ask Kevin who he'd leave his cats with, but we all know he'd just keep them locked up in his dungeon with the minimum amount of food and water. Have a great week, Boltfam.
Oh my gosh, these people know so much about us. Oh man.
Oh.
I will agree with you that the off season is long and it does play tricks on you. It's almost like The Shining when you're just all work and no play makes all fans
Kai, a
scared.
dull boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with the amount of moves that we've made this off season, it's still
your mind just wanders.
Your mind still wanders. So
you just gotta fight. You gotta fight those thoughts off. Just not let them inside.
Yeah.
All right. So if you
a great question.
had to leave your kids with one player on the team for 2 weeks, who would it be?
One player. Like, I want my kids to have a good time. Like, I don't necessarily need them to be like helicopter parented or like
They're not here for a long time. They're here
2
for
weeks.
They're here for a good time.
Yeah, summer camp.
We were at the pool today. This is a great story. We were at the pool today, and my oldest son was like playing with these new kids at the pool, and the other kid's mom was like, "Don't jump and do dives without your like rash guard on, because you'll get a red belly if you do that." And Stellan looked at me. He's like, "Can I do it without the rash guard?" I'm like, "Dude,
belly flop.
you better belly flop right now. Make your old man proud. Be a man. You're gonna get hurt, but you're gonna learn something from it." So I need somebody on this team that might get them hurt in some way, but it's not season-ending injury, and they'll learn something from it.
There you go.
So what's your answer?
So the answer is
I feel like an offensive lineman, maybe Feiler. Like just some like Scandinavian Viking energy. Like I'm sure they could like toss some like, tree logs or I don't know what do Vikings do, but something Viking-esque. I feel like they'd come back much
and pillage.
Yeah. Wow.
Pretty much what Vikings do.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So
you can just leave your accessories.
They'll come back with a new skill. Oh God. Yeah. So
God.
Viking energy from Feiler would be great. Yeah.
Feiler.
Make them stronger men than I'll ever be able to do.
All right. Well, Doug, who's your cat sitter?
I think the go-to.
Not me.
Yeah, no.
The thing is, I'm not abusive to my cat.
Oh no! Right, I can't abuse him if he sits in the dark.
He's got a cat apartment. He's got all kinds of fun things to do. He's just an asshole, and he swipes at my kids.
I know.
So you stay in there. You're not watching my kids.
I would probably lean towards, just because of how much he loves puppies, I would say Chris Rumpf would be my my cat sitter.
That's a good call.
Yeah, I think. Now this is me hoping that he's not, just a dog lover and a cat hater. I mean, obviously that wouldn't be the move.
True.
So it's hard to say, but based on his,
he brings his dog over to watch your cat.
That would be, well, that probably wouldn't be too bad. They'd probably just stay hiding for the entire 2 weeks.
I don't know. Chris is probably getting ready for a season where he's going after things, and I think your dog kind of feeds off your energy. So I think your cat would be fucked.
Well, it's possible. So I it's hard to say. Chris just seems like a good guy too.
It's hard to say.
I mean, because we haven't seen they haven't had Cat Day. We're all about Puppy Day, but we haven't had Kitten Day yet or anything like that. So
true.
If Chargers could have Kitten Day, then I would have a better knowledge of who would be best to take care of my cats. But so I'm going to say Chris Rumpf, but it may be the wrong move. I can't say for sure.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. And who would you leave your kids with there, Coach?
I don't know. It's kind of hard. I don't know. I really don't. I would like them to be with someone a little more character than Kevin would leave his kids with.
My kid's gonna come out strong.
A little less rape and pillage in the agenda.
Yeah,
I hope that's not the first thing they learn. I'm sure there's a lot of other things they'll learn from him.
All right, boys, we're gonna learn about Uncle Feiler's gonna teach you how.
Oh God! Stop.
All right. I'll get us out of here. I would go with Chase Daniel because he has kids that are similar to mine.
Yeah.
He's obviously figured out this world and how to have the best job on planet Earth.
Oh, yeah.
And so if Paxton could pick up on some of those qualities and traits, that'd be great.
Great answer. Love that. All right. Cerberus 21. Thank you for the great question.
That's pretty much what Vikings do.
Why did they have other attributes?
Let's move it on now to House of Hain, who asked the question. Happy Father's Day to the Bolt fam. F the Raiders as always. Sorry I've been missing the last few weeks. Kid crap runs my life. Now that school is out, I want to run away. What are the must-win games outside of the division? Because we will sweep the West. must-win games outside the division, I leave that up to coach because, I mean, to me, it's just like, well, obviously we want to beat the reigning Super Bowl champs, so that feels like I would like to see that win, but I don't know if that's necessarily a must-win. Like we gotta win this one.
It feels like a must-win for
Does
the
it?
fight for LA a little bit.
I guess.
Like
That's
if we're gonna
possible.
be the team that could go and win it, you need to beat the team that just did it.
Sure.
That would be. That feels like a must-win. I kind of want the must-win to be the 49er game because I want Joey to be better than his little brother. That's kind of what I'm pulling for.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Are we talking out of the AFC West or are we talking out of the AFC in general?
I would say out of the AFC West.
Okay.
Because he says we'll sweep the West. So I think just out of that AFC West division.
Yeah. To me, the must wins to me are the games that you're supposed to win. Like there's several on here that should be
Jacksonville.
Pretty easy W's, but that's just looking at the schedule. It doesn't always go that way. We went through that with the Texans last year.
Right.
Sure.
Right. So looking at the schedule, the must wins are the games that they're just bad. They're not very good teams that you got to beat them, like the Jaguars, the Texans, the Falcons, who now don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
It's like these teams that these should be the weeks that we kind of roll. The Browns, we have them early enough that they probably won't have a quarterback either. So, to me, the must wins outside of the AFC West are I want to beat the Rams for sure. But is that a must win for us to make the playoffs? I don't think so. You got to win those games against teams that are under 500 to make the playoffs. You can't lose those because all the other games are going to be so competitive. So, those are the kind of the ones that I have circled. It's like, you got to win those because those are just the ones you're supposed to win.
Excellent. Great point. House of Hain, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Carl Bollingtoft.
Bollingtoft.
Who asked the question. So, can you choose your ideal trio of QB, wide receiver, and running back using any fictional characters from movies and or TV shows? And then who would you choose in defense to stop them?
This is tough.
This is good.
This is gonna take us a long time to answer if we don't split this up.
Well, okay.
Okay. I got running back and wide receiver.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah.
Johnny Utah, Point Break is my all-time favorite quarterback in any movie ever made, even though he barely plays football in that movie.
Okay.
Wide receiver, Rod Tidwell, Show Me the Money from Jerry Maguire. He is our wide receiver that Johnny Utah is going to throw to.
All right.
And I will leave the running backs to you guys. I have a very good one for defense.
Well, I thought you said running back and wide receiver.
I said quarterback and
quarterback. Receiver. Okay. Running back. I don't know. How about the Roadrunner from Looney Tunes?
I was just about to say. Pretty fast.
Thank you. Yeah, we're on the same page.
Scatty. Yeah.
Or Sonic. He kind of goes into a ball. You can't.
Sonic
you
would be good.
Can't tackle a ball.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I
feel like we have to rethink our quarterback and wide receiver if we're going.
I thought we were going more like
got to be better options.
Sports of the all, but
any fictional characters from movies or TV shows.
Fictional characters. Too.
Yeah.
You went outside the box. So this idea of trying
step and he's in the end.
The idea of answering this question went from hard to nearly impossible with this new this new caveat.
Sure. Well, that's the fun of it all.
Well, I don't care who you put on defense. Bobby Boucher is on that defense.
Bobby Boucher, yeah,
he's on that defense from the Water
the team
Boy.
Captain.
Yeah, he's on there. He's on there. Water sucks. It really, really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And Lattimore from the program.
That is a perfect answer. He's all juiced up.
Yeah, juiced up Lattimore. I don't want the clean one.
Juiced up Lattimore and Bobby Boucher versus
Sonic.
Versus Sonic, Johnny Utah. That's a wild.
We're all over the place.
I like it.
Definitely not the best answer, but that's our answer.
That's fine. Yeah. Hey, if you got a better one, put it down in the comments below.
We may not be the best podcast, but we're a podcast.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
And don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Smash it. Carl, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Pink Unicorn, who asked the question. So what do you guys think is more likely?
Defense has multiple games allowing 0 points, or offense has multiple games scoring over 50. Happy belated Father's Day. K, love you, bye.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Pink.
Thanks, Pink Unicorn.
All right, so more likely 0 points, defense allowing.
We're playing a lot of good offenses, so I think the 50 burger is probably going to be more likely than shutouts.
Has Justin had a 50 burger yet?
Yeah, didn't he? No, he was close. The Browns game you went to, the Browns game,
that was
and
only
the Steelers.
40 something. I don't think that got to 50. Let's see, Chargers.
The Browns and the Steelers games were dangerously close to 50 burgers.
2021.
The 41.
42, 47.
So the 47. So he hasn't had a 50 burger
Got
yet.
close, yeah. Yeah, he hasn't had a 50 burger yet. So
all right, defensive minded coach. I'm gonna guess probably. I'm gonna flip the answer. I'm gonna go with some shutouts, because if we get to the point where our defense is playing just decent, we're just gonna run the ball. We're not gonna have to put up 50 burger.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the defense is more likely to have a couple shutouts than for 50 burgers.
I can see the logic in that.
Yeah.
Does Kyle feel differently though?
That's a good question. That's tough because a shutout in the NFL is just so unheard of.
So hard.
And with what we're going to do, what I believe we're going to do on offense with the consistency that we have now, I could see a 50 burger, at least one. And I don't know if you don't always get one shutout every single season in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'll take the over on the 50 instead of the shutout.
Mm-hmm.
Couple shutouts would be cool. Maybe one or two.
If this
if we get one
way,
shutout or 150-point game, that's huge.
That's
huge.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if it's the same game?
50-0
that would
against
be
the Raiders.
Week one, we're there.
Bolt prediction.
That would
Suck
be
it, Raiders.
That would be insane. Man. Yeah, it's hard to say which one it would be. I kind of want to say the 50 burger only, and because of the defense being so good, they're going to keep getting the ball back to Herbert, even if he's running it, even if it's Austin running it. I think we're just going to score more points because I think we've talked about other teams bolstering their offense. There's not many teams that have bolstered their defense in the same way that the Chargers have. So
look at the way our offense played, though. Those games that we got close to 50, what did the other team have?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
That's why I think it's not very realistic, because I don't think there's going to be any teams putting 40 on this defense. That's why I
don't
say
think
that
either one of these are necessarily realistic.
I just think the goose egg makes more sense.
Sure. I can 100% see it going either way.
Kevin reads books. Adam,
he reads them.
I listen to
with
books,
his ears.
It's a book.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, Pink Unicorn. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Emergency Slice 7270.
Certified Fresh.
Who asked the question?
Can you go through the schedule and see what is a win realistically with injuries? Will Coach be still aggressive on 4th down?
That first question's a little hard to say, like with injuries, like who's injured? Who
Yeah,
are we
you got
talking
to
about?
be a little more specific. I think if you're, I don't want to talk about injuries at this point, though. So I think if you were to say
just, in general, what is a realistic win
if you lose a few guys,
assuming that there will be injuries, which there will be, that's just inevitable.
I think we're a 12-win team. I think that's the floor.
I think we're a 13-win team, but I think to kind of answer the question, I think it's like you said, Kyle, like the teams that are the lesser, the ones that are the less than 500, like I think with injuries, those should be the ones that we should realistically win. I mean, it might be more challenging with the injuries depending on who it is that is injured, but I think that would be the answer. So teams like the Jaguars or the Browns without a quarterback or something like that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think we're a 13-win team.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some injuries and you're going to drop a game here or there.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think 13-4 is the realistic outlook.
And
I like the question of, will Coach continue to be aggressive on 4th down? A lot of people are like, yeah, that's just his identity. That's just who he is. I just don't know. I think that he did it out of what he knew his defense was capable of. He didn't want to put the game in his defense's hands, which made sense because if anyone knew what quality our defense was, it was our head coach and defensive guru, right?
Yeah.
He knew, look, if we give them the ball back too much, my defense can't hold up. So I'm going to be ultra aggressive on offense out of necessity. And that may not be the case, but I think that there's some truth to that he had to be more aggressive on offense because he didn't trust the defense to be able to hold. Now, is that this case still this year? It may just be his identity and he's going to continue to do it. But I do think that he has a little bit more confidence and, hey, I'm not going to go for it on 4th and 7 at my own 35 this year.
Sure,
that was
sure.
last year because we had to. Now, I still think there will be times where he goes for it. Sure.
Right.
I don't think we're going to be the team that never goes for it on 4th down. But I think that last year there was some situations that were outliers because of our defense that this year isn't going to be the case.
I think it makes a lot of sense. I think you could argue it both ways, but I think what you're saying probably makes the most sense, that it was more of a necessity than anything else. But also looking at, him going into his second season, Justin Herbert going into his second season, almost the whole offense, minus a few players going into the second season, having had that kind of pressure being put on them and executing, for the better part of it. I honestly don't have the stat in front of me, so I don't know if we were on the positive or negative side of it, but I feel like with all those 4th downs attempts that we went for, we made it more often than we didn't. So whether it would still be aggressive, I mean, maybe that's the word that it focuses on, and I'd say it definitely will still happen, but whether it'll be aggressive, I think Kyle makes a good point that it probably won't be.
I just think the extremeness of some of those calls, like the really long yardage to get a 4th down and, on our side of the field, may not be there as much. But I think if you're within 5 yards and it's 4th down, it's still he's going to go for it. The confidence that he gave the offense by doing that and the way Justin just thrived on that. You look at that last game against the Raiders. Granted, we didn't win that game, but look what he did on 4th down that whole drive. Like he was he prepared him for that drive. Like the whole season was a lead up to that drive, and he did what he did, which was absolutely insane. So it's still there. I just don't think it will be as extreme as it was last season.
I mean, hopefully the offense has gotten better to the point that we really shouldn't have to go for it on 4th down that frequently. Like hopefully it's more just we truck it down the field and we get it in. There's not a necessity to go for it on 4th down.
Sure.
We'll have to wait and see, but Emergency Slice 7270, thank you for asking the question.
Thank you.
Let's moving on now to CD, who asked the question.
Well, let's just say Phillip Rivers got a wild hair up his ass and went kind of wild in his first year of college. He's out there drinking and having a blast, and he meets a girl from Oregon. Wow. They're talking and hanging out. They hit it off and have a one-night stand. Wow. They then go separate ways, and Phil gets married and lives his life, and she goes back to Oregon. She later finds out she's pregnant. The boy to come is the one and only Justin, what could be Rivers. I mean, she never says a word, but Phil always has a hunch, which is why they have had very little conversations between the two of them. Wow. I mean, wow. It's almost like the timeline at which I researched this adds up. Wow. Wow. Wow.
I don't know, man. It's the off season. Lol. All right. So CD threw out a made-for-TV movie about Justin Herbert being Phil's illegitimate son. I guess I don't know.
It's like Hercules. He's part God.
Bless my loss, bless my soul. Herb was on a roll. Yeah.
I like the hypothetical.
It's a good hypothetical.
It's a wild ride. It really is. It's it really is. Wild Toad. What is it? The Wild Toads Wild Ride? Not Wild Toads.
Toad's Wild
Mr.
Ride.
Toad's Wild Ride of a.
Yes.
It makes sense.
Hey, if the dates check, check. If the shoe fits, I'm not.
But that would, that would mean that Phil was an unfaithful son of a gun. Yeah, that would be.
Yeah,
that would be unlike Phil.
Justin
I think
Rivers.
that's where. Yeah, I think that's where the hitch happens. I could see it making sense, but I just don't see Phil being that kind of guy.
Now, if you told me Ryan Leaf, I'd believe it.
Done. Easy.
You tell me this was a Viking, makes sense. But...
Oh God.
The saint that is Phillip Rivers.
The saint that is Phillip Rivers. I can't imagine ever doing that. So.
No.
But
I love the hypothetical connection.
Love the hypothetical, and you're right. It's the off season. We're grasping at straws for entertainment, and thank you for bringing it.
We're gonna need a couple more weeks of this, so keep them coming.
Right? Yeah. Hey, it's happening whether we like it or not. Let's move it on now to C. Sour, who asked the question. First, real quick non-football question: what do you guys think of Drake's new EDM house album? Second, how do you suspect Spiller will be utilized? Downhill back to get tough yards in third and short situations, or as short and goal options? Okay, love you, bye.
I am not the person to ask about this at all.
Kev said I haven't heard
Drake's
new music
album
since the year 2000. So
yeah. And Chumbawamba was, what year was that? 90.
I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but I have seen that there has been some pretty strong back and forth on Twitter because a lot of the people that I follow have listened to this, and there seems to be some very strong opinions.
The one I hear,
one way or the other.
I haven't listened to it, but one I heard a lot is it's so good you just don't understand it. That's the one I keep hearing. I don't know what that means.
Transcends.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
In like 5 years, it'll be a masterpiece. But right now,
it's so
sucks
good
ass.
It sucks.
Yeah,
that's basically what you said to me.
Yeah, it's like
it's
movies
so good,
that
you
are
don't get it.
So bad it's good.
It's so much art in this. You don't understand. If you don't understand it, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. If you don't like this, it's because you're dumb.
It's your fault.
It's your fault. This is on you.
All right. And then the Charger question. How do you think Spiller will be utilized downhill back to get tough yards in third and short situations or short and goal options?
I think both of those apply. Like that's the same type of situation, right? Short yardage in the goal line, short yardage on third down. But you hope he's more than that, right? That's not why you draft the guy where you draft him. And the talk from LT is not, hey, we have a giant that's just going to run for 3 or 4 yards. Sounds like more of a do-it-all kind of back. Catch the ball out of the backfield. He's good. He ran a lot of the zone stuff at A&M, so he's not just a power back, that F-150. I think he will be utilized because he's more of that than Eckler is. But I think you're going to see him dropped into the offense, kind of a plug and play guy to do more than one thing.
And it's like what you said in the past. Like if he's only good at these two things, the defense is gonna shut it down. They're going to load the box and stop him because he's not multifaceted. What people are liking about him is his ability to catch the ball. He can do a lot of different things to help this team. And, a lot of the guys we have on the roster are capable of that too. So I'm just curious how this new right now he's a new shiny toy. We got to see how that works out because there's still guys on the roster that have been here for a year and know the scheme probably a little better. So I'm excited to see though.
Absolutely. All right, C. Sauer, thank you for asking the question. Moving on to Danny Lags, who asked the question. Hey, it's me again. I have to thank you guys for making my freaking year. If and when the Chargers go to the Super Bowl, will you guys be there? And how much would you be willing to pay? $10,427 was the average ticket price last year. Or if only one could go, how would you guys decide?
Holy shit.
All right.
I wouldn't go. That's just too much money.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
As much as I think we'd all like to be there, taking out a loan just to go to one game would be asking a lot.
I'm going to be somewhere having a fun Super Bowl party watching the game with you guys.
Absolutely.
That's where I'll be.
That would be the move.
Or,
the guy that spends $400
we start
on
a GoFundMe.
Or a sugar mommy or sugar daddy comes out of the woodworks and is like, guys, I love you. I want to spend $40,000 to take you to a game.
Not even sugar daddy, sugar mommy. A Charger Angel.
Charger Angel.
Oh,
the extreme version of that story.
Yeah.
That is
Charger
what
God.
This is what Danny, this is what you've done. You put this into my brain that one day this could happen to me, when in reality it's not going to happen to me. But I thank you for the little hope that is in my brain now for this potential.
All right. Well, what about this other side of the question as far as if only one of us could go?
Yeah. Let's say we had one sugar daddy.
He can only pay for
or
one.
mommy. Jen Mills, I'm looking at you. If Jen Mills had to pick one of us to go to the Super Bowl with,
why'd you throw her name?
Because she's the queen and she probably will get free
She's the one that
tickets.
hooks everything up, everyone with everything.
Yeah, she's
the only one
best.
generous enough to actually do something like that.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
So Jen Mills probably. I don't know. We all have. What would be your sales pitch? Why, Adam? Why would you be the best person for her to take?
Because if she had to pick one of you two, you would both hold it against each other as brothers for the rest of your lives. I am the easiest choice. I am the Switzerland choice. I'm the easiest choice to make without angering one of the three.
It's true.
So angering one, I still think you're going to get a lot more love out of the one that you picked than any of the hate you'll get from the other one.
The love will outweigh the hate.
I love so hard. Okay. I love so hard.
I'm a hard lover.
Hard lover.
Like a Viking.
Hard lover. Oh, God. This is the joke that just keeps on giving.
Yeah.
I love hard. I will
I love hard.
Yeah, my sales
That's
pitch
your
is
pitch.
I love hard.
I love hard.
I love so hard it hurts.
Take me to this game.
Well, could you give a better pitch, Kyle?
No, if only one of us can go, I don't want to be there alone. So
Holy shit! That's what's that story where like, okay, here's the baby. You can cut it in half and both have it, or the real parent just take the baby because you don't want it to die. You just did that. You just took the higher road, and I'm pissed about it, Kyle.
Yeah, but you love hard.
I love so hard. I'm willing to cut that baby in half.
All the babies.
You'll cut that baby in half.
I love hard.
I think it's King Solomon. I think that's
what it is.
Solomon,
that's what I'm looking for.
All right. Well, thank you for asking the divisive question, Danny. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let's move it on now to Chris M., who asked the question. Hey, Coach, this may be a stupid question, but what would happen if you put Norton and Pipkins both on the right side? Surely together they could slow down whoever's coming enough to give the receivers plenty of time to get open or open a hole for the running back.
Interesting. It's an interesting point because I remember last year, early on in the season, they brought Pipkins on as that sixth offensive lineman, and he played terribly. They brought him in a goal line situation. And he first play jumped offside, false start. Yeah. He just was like, it's a weird position. It does a lot of things. One, it creates more holes. You got to take another player off the field, right? So you're taking a wide receiver or a running back or a tight end off the field, which you don't want to do. Less weapons with more defenders is never a good thing. You also kind of tell your hand. If you're taking a wide receiver off the field, they know you're going to run the ball. So bringing in that sixth offensive lineman just does a lot of weird changes. And it also, in your blocking scheme, everything gets switched up because now whoever your right tackle is, so say it's Storm Norton, and then Trey Pipkins is almost your tight end. A lot of things adjust and switch how you slide, what guys you're looking for, what linebacker you're responsible for. So it makes it a little bit more confusing, and you become less of a threat because you're taking a wide receiver or running back off the field, which we don't want to do. So interesting thought. Maybe we could sandwich them together as one person and human centipede them over there on the right side. Maybe that will be effective, but
that'll be a tough
Trey
block.
Pipkins has proven his white line O-line's number 6 is not the spot for him.
No, and especially when you bring in that big piece of meat to go block and make holes, and he just trips and falls and stumbles around, gets knocked on his back. Not helpful.
It's just never pans out.
Right. It's thinking outside the box though, Chris, and we appreciate that. So thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Boltville714, who asked the question.
What's up, brothers? First of all, I hope everyone had a great Father's Day weekend. That being said, I've noticed Kev has been a little out of sync with you guys and has had questionable answers to some of the hypothetical questions lately. So I'm going to put him on the spot tonight in front of all the thousands and thousands of Hulkamaniacs to analyze the answers. My hypothetical question to you, brothers, is what you gonna do if your son decides to run wild on the pitch and one day gets drafted into the NFL, but the team he gets drafted to is, yes, you guessed it, brothers, that goddamn pirate hookers, the Las Vegas Raiders. Will you choke your son with those pythons, or will you give in and tap out and run to their support wearing an eye patch and all black leather gimp suit to their games? K, love you, bye.
I'd flex my my Manning-esque ability to control a draft and pull him, put him in a fifth year senior.
Wait, you're telling me you would rather have your son be like Eli Manning?
Play another, than be a Raider? Sure, 100%. And I'd also maybe send him back to another year of college. Like find some kind of loophole, something. We'll hold him back. Usually you hold him back before they start school. I'm holding him back on his fourth year of college because I don't want him to be a fucking Raider. Answer. And have I been giving some questionable hypotheticals lately? Maybe I was just a little rusty.
Yeah. What's happened is me and Adam we've synced up, like I talked about. We started agreeing, and you're
still the grossest thing I've ever heard.
It's gotten weird. It's gotten weird. Well,
we're on the same wavelength. We're on the same wavelength. How
That's
about
a better way to say it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm here for.
All right, Viking.
Better watch out.
Stop critiquing just because you're the odd man out now.
How about you, Kyle? What would you do? Your son gets drafted in the NFL and he's a Raider.
I'm not gonna cop out and say what Kevin said because that's not real. Yeah, I mean, I would buy. If my son was playing professional football in the NFL, I would probably get a Duggan jersey. Yeah,
I'd get a Duggan jersey, but it'd be a Charger Duggan jersey with his number if he was playing for a different team. 100%.
I mean,
yeah, I mean, I would support my son if he was on the Raiders. I would support my son, but I would still be a Charger fan.
Probably easier to some kind of soft tissue injury during the combine, make him drop a bit, like something like that.
That's not going to stop the Raiders from drafting him.
They could.
The Raiders suck at the draft.
Or maybe don't run your 4.3 today, buddy. Run that 4.7 because they only draft guys that run 4.3.
No. As long as he has a good combine, good college career, they won't draft him. It'll be fine.
Yeah. If he's a good college player, they won't pick him. Just
if he projects to be good in the NFL, they won't pick him.
No.
So at the end of the day, I don't think this will happen. But if it did happen,
at the end of the day, I hope this won't happen. But if it did,
I would support my son.
All right. Yeah, that would be tough. That would be really tough. But hey, Boltville714, thank you.
It wouldn't be that tough. He'd be making a lot of money, and I would probably retire and just.
What do you think? You think he's gonna pay? He's just gonna give you money when he gets his first Raider contract?
Yeah. Yeah, we've talked about it.
So you've already had that conversation with your 5-year-old?
Yeah,
awesome.
It's in writing.
Sweet. Smart.
Yeah.
Get it signed early.
5-year-old?
Yeah, he's gonna be pretty good.
I was going to say, if the money is the idea, then what if he's drafted 5th or he's an undrafted free agent in the Raiders? Once it reaches
an undrafted free agent?
Yeah, he can't choose. No.
Even though he might have the best chance to a starting roster.
If he's an undrafted free agent, I will not allow him to sign with the Chargers.
Go to another team and work harder.
Yeah.
All right.
Flops.
There you go. Boltville714, thank you for asking the question. And we go out of Ask Bolt Fam with another chapter from Senior Snappy.
Oh, gosh.
Of the Wool Dog story.
Hold on. Can we pause for a second? I want to go get some popcorn.
Stumbling through the dusty tunnel, Wool Dog, on your fight for justice. Like your famous beard, your troubles had no end. But wait, Wool Dog Jr. is stopped in his tracks, growling. There's something up ahead, a bright light. Look away, Wool Dog. But too late, you are blinded. You Enrique's friend? What's the password? Family, trust, respect? Okay. I would have accepted any squad, any place. Welcome to TJ Holmes. So, your luck's not run dry just yet, Wolldog. Good for you. You've made your way to Colombia y Ave... Oh, shit. What is that? Colombia y Ave Guanajuato. You've made your way to Colombia y Ave Guanajuato, to the elegant Sofia Cucina Italiana, where you can collect your thoughts. It's been hours without a drop of caffeine nor simple carbohydrates. Times like this call for certain risks.
Hey, senor! No peros, no peros!
The name is Wolpero. What is wrong with you, Wolldog? You can't just bring a dirty animal into Sofia Cucina Italiana. Put Wolldog Jr. outside. Well, they let you sit at the bar. What'll you have? Can I get a Montana Dew over here? Y una frijoles machos?
We have none of that, senor. How about El Toro Rojo?
Ew, no, just give me a water.
Frijoles machos y one agua, 300 pesos, por favor.
I don't have any pesos, but I do have another talent. Tijuana is a town not known for the voice acting industry. But again, fortune smiles on you.
My brother Luis, I might use you, but the perro must go outside.
The man is on his phone, and he wants to discuss your future. But to do about Wolldog Jr. All right, so I've arrived at Sofia Cucina Italiana with a Italian Mexican.
You don't speak Spanish.
I don't speak Spanish. And Ricardo Montalban is narrating my journey from this point forward.
It's just getting wild.
All right, so I guess it's okay. So Mario is on the phone, and what do I do about Wolldog Jr. if he's outside and I've arrived here? I don't have any pesos, but I can voice act. I can do that.
This sounds like a job for the Pee Wee Herman scene. Get those platforms on and
I
get
look
to
for
dancing.
the nearest jukebox and I look for tequila.
Tequila.
I did that a lot as a kid. I would do the front pointing.
Yeah. Tequila.
I could do that. I think I could entertain. I could jump on a table. I can hit the jukebox. I can dance. And they'll be so focused on me, they won't worry about the dog. So Wolldog Jr. will be in disguise, as they say.
I feel like there needs to be some kind of change here where the dog turns into a cat.
Oh.
Something turned.
So not a perro, but a gato.
Gato. World gato.
Wolldog gato.
No, you're not dog anymore. You're World gato.
I am now World gato. That's my alias when I'm in Mexico. I become World gato. I like it. He purrs into your life, into your ears.
It's Puss in Boots.
It's Puss in Boots all over again. Holy shit. All right. Well, where will this go next? Only Senior Snappy knows.
I don't even know if he knows.
We'll find out the next time he pipes up. But that is it for Ask Boltfam. Thank you, Senior Snappy, and thank you, everybody, for asking questions. Again, you make the off season a little more entertaining.
Just so much more fun.
You throw some good questions out there. Some of them weird. But we learned some things. We learned about glizzies.
Yeah.
We learned about.
We'll find out. We think we learned about glizzies.
We'll find out. But I think that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
No. I hope I come back to form. I feel like I'm letting people down. So I'm gonna
Vikings.
I'm gonna go do some improv
Vikings
classes.
In Missouri?
Yeah.
If there's any Vikings in Missouri, Kevin's looking for babysitter.
There you go.
Yeah. Make my kids fucking
Just
hard.
for a couple weeks.
Just a couple weeks. Just make them tough. Just make them much tougher than I'm offering.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat, folks. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Puss and boots.
Puss in Boots.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever thought to yourself, hey, I want to be a Viking, but it's 2022? Well, now you can, thanks to Matt Feiler's Viking Camp. Learn all the ins and outs of being a Viking.
And for the kids, we have Viking Camp Junior. 2 weeks of learning to be a tough guy without all that yucky stuff.
So call Matt Feiler's Viking Camp
And become a Viking today.